Hello and welcome to the coverage of the closing ceremony for the Vancouver Paralympic Games. My name's Amy Bainbridge and I'm very pleased to be joined in the commentary booth by Mark Dwyer. Mark, thanks so much for joining, well, me and us and everyone. And here we have the closing ceremony, a pretty wet evening at Whistler.
That's right, it's been raining down in Vancouver as well throughout the day, but I'm sure these people will be very happy to have a seat at the closing ceremony.
We did put out the call earlier today during the rebroadcast of the curling to let people know that rain was the forecast was for it to continue to fall tonight. It looks as though plenty of people have got their ponchos and umbrellas.
That's
so
right.
We're just waiting for the beginning of the closing ceremony.
We should be about 4 minutes away, getting underway at 1900 hours local time. So thanks for joining us wherever you are in the world here on Paralympic Sport TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, the closing ceremony of the 2010 Paralympic Winter Games will begin shortly.
So plenty of people gathered ready for this spectacle, and look, we've been let in on a few secrets of what's going to happen tonight, but of course all will be revealed in due course. Plenty of performances and some special awards, and it should be a really good night. Mark, it's been a pretty fantastic Games.
That's right, so many, fantastic moments. It almost seems, perverse to single out individual athletes, but we have to start with the two athletes who have won 5 gold medals. Lauren Wollstonecross of Canada in alpine skiing and Verena Benteler in biathlon. The German athlete. Stunning performances from both of those.
Absolutely. We do hope that Verena will be able to join us during this closing ceremony broadcast.
Well, making you feel a little bit more at home there, the Australian flag underneath the Canadian one.
There is, of course, a very strong Australian presence in Whistler during the winter season. A lot of Australians make their way to do a ski season there. So here we have some performers parading in. So shortly we'll have the VIP entrance, and then we'll get the closing ceremony underway. It's brought to you live on Paralympic Sport TV. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Now, if you want to get onto our Facebook page, please do send us any questions, any memories you have. It's been great to interact with you throughout these games. I know that Amy and Chris Dorr have been providing great curling commentary, and many of you have enjoyed that. Well, we're very, very pleased to be welcome on the phone now one of those two athletes I was talking about, winner of 5 gold medals, Verena Benteler. Verena, how are you?
Welcome to Whistler, British
Verena,
Columbia.
can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you, but it's very, very silent. Could you speak a little bit louder, or could you make it a little bit louder?
We'll certainly try. Verena,
Okay.
if there was one single memory of these games, what will it be for you?
Pardon, can you repeat your question, please?
Just 5 gold medals for you, Verena. Was there one in particular that stood out?
Oh, it's better. Okay, perfect. Now I hear you pretty loud. So once again, please. It's no pity, sorry.
No, it's fine, Verena. Thanks so much for joining us. What will be the single lasting memory for you from these games?
Oh, this game was very, very wonderful for me, and now the closing ceremony, I think it will be a big party for us as athletes. And for me, of course, with my 5 gold medals, it was wonderful here to take part and have such a success after all this work.
Will you be giving any of the medals away to friends and family, or keeping all of them for yourself?
I'll keep all of them for myself, I think. Perhaps I'll give one to a museum or something, but I think all in all I would keep it all for myself. But just until now, perhaps I'll give one to someone like a trainer or something.
And just give us a sense of what it's like to stay in the athletes' village in Whistler. Verena? What? spoken and we've lost her.
Welcome to Whistler, British Columbia. Bienvenue à Whistler en Colombie-Britannique.
Well, Verena Benteler there, as we said, one of 2 athletes to win 5 gold medals. And she's obviously about to enjoy this closing ceremony from up close. Unfortunately, we just lost her there for a moment, but great to hear her speak about her fantastic performance. Verena, are you back with us?
Hello?
Hello, Verena.
Yeah, now I can hear you again. Okay.
Just give us a sense of what it's like to be with the athletes in the village in Whistler.
The best thing is that you meet athletes from other disciplines like alpine skiing or something, and you can sit there in the evening and change about your experiences you did, and to celebrate a little bit after competition and to give other people power for their competition. So it's one of the best things to be in the athletes village with all together.
Verena, it's Amy Bainbridge here. Look, congratulations on such a fantastic performance.
Thank you.
What happens after these games for you? I mean, is there an element
it's very, very loud. I nearly can't understand you, I think. Okay, now it's better.
What happens after these games for you?
This games, it was for me very, very special thing because I had such success here, and for me it gave me a lot of power for my whole life, I think, because now I could show that a lot of training and hard work is very, very worthful, and no one could take you this success. So I wish us all a nice and very wonderful evening, and I hope you all feel the inspiration of this games now with me.
Well, absolutely, we do. Thank you so much for joining us, Verena.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So,
well, I think you can hear in the background there quite how loud it is, how much she's been enjoying things, and she will continue to do so. And we have to say, just over a year ago, she lost a kidney after surgery following she tumbled down a hill and an injury she had. She thought maybe she would never ski again. And just over a year later, she comes back to win 5 Paralympic gold medals.
oh, it's just an incredible journey. But, I mean, there are so many incredible stories here at the Paralympic Games. And, look, we'll bring some of those to you tonight.
Well, the other athlete on your screen now with 5 gold medals, Canada's Lauren Wollstonecroft.
And what a crowd favourite she's been. Very excited team. Now you'll notice, of course, tonight it's somewhat of a different setup to the opening ceremony, a much more, I guess, laid back or casual entrance as the athletes come into the venue and prepare to be settled so they can enjoy this ceremony.
That's right, they are actually in order. If you watch the Olympic closing ceremony, the athletes do kind of come in a reasonably haphazard way, but they are parading in, which makes it slightly easier for us to identify the countries. And then, of course, the largest contingents of all, the Canadians.
Certainly. So we have, well, a lot of the athletes kind of mixed together, all staying together with their own country, but sort of mixed in together. So, as we said, a lot less formal than during the opening ceremony, but I guess it gives way to this more relaxed atmosphere.
The Canadian Prime Minister there, Stephen Harper.
They're having a jolly time.
That's right, he's been attending several of the events. We've seen him at the ice hockey venue and others, so certainly getting right behind these games, and that's good to see.
So the Canadian team on screen there. Looks as though it may have stopped raining for the time being down where the athletes are.
And it is really just the opening and the closing ceremonies, because where all these athletes come together, because there are the 2 athletes' villages, one down in Vancouver and one up at Whistler.
Yeah, one of the nice things about having the ceremony up at Whistler is that, you know, the athletes that have been based down in Vancouver, which is more than 100 kilometres away from Whistler, get to come up and have a look at the venue and mix in with the other athletes. A joyous occasion. Of course, the ice sledge hockey and the curling, the wheelchair curling, have been down in Vancouver. And Jim Armstrong, the gold medalist skip from Canada.
Well, we see ahead of Lauren there, waving the American flag, just going off screen there. Monty Meyer, he's completed 5 Paralympic Games, and I know that his wife Tracy down in Park City, Utah, who runs the Adaptive Ski Center down in Utah, she'll be happy to have him back at home more often.
Really nice here for the crowds to be able to get so close to the athletes and give them a high five. enjoy the celebration and really all come together. I mean, these games have been as much about the support of the crowds as they have about the athletes, and certainly Vancouver has put on a really good show.
Well, the Koreans performing very, very well in the curling in particular.
Certainly a silver medal in the curling, and gee, what a nail-biter finish that was against Canada.
Well, we can see the see-through ponchos that several of these athletes are wearing, but the hoods are down, so I think they are in the clear for now.
Certainly.
But just a very, very festive atmosphere as always. More Americans with their French-style berets, if you will. And of course, a lot of the coaches and officials will be joining the athletes, so everyone involved here. There's Jimmy Jam Joseph on the right-hand side there, the alternate for the curling team. And I know he was one of the most vocal members of the team, even though he didn't get to play too much.
He certainly was. Certainly the US do know how to support their own team. Some Swedish team members up down the left-hand side of the screen there.
Maybe just wait well, I don't know. How long is this part going to go for, do you think? We could talk to him briefly now.
Well, Stephanie Victor there, winner of a gold medal yesterday in the Super Combined. She left it late, but she had the golden rig if you've been following our Alpine events in the sit ski division, and was able to get a gold to match it. So the order is fairly set. You can see Alison Jones there, the skier, on the shoulders of what appeared to be Brad Washburn, two skiers. But you will see these athletes all mixing in.
Having a photo with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, well, representatives, the RCMP.
And good to see them smiling even though they're on official duty.
That's right.
So we will be getting underway once all the athletes take their seats. That could be some time. Bit of musical chairs here.
Certainly is. I mean, it's nice because the athletes certainly aren't rushing in. They're just soaking up the moment, taking the chance to say good day to people in the crowd.
And as we said, this, for many of them, the real only chance for them to really relax and meet some of the other athletes that they've been respecting on television and from afar in the build-up to these games. They'll, of course, follow each other's exploits around the year.
Sombreros there, got everything.
So we see some of the German team members. And the Japanese. Now they've done very, very well, both on the slopes and in the ice sledge hockey.
Incredible.
They did take the wind out of the Canadian sails in the semi-final with a stunning 3-1 win. And, well, for the neutrals, it was a moment of incredible sporting drama. And waving Canadian flags and wearing the hats, and that's so nice to see. But the Japanese, I know that final, when they, unfortunately for them, lost to the US, was broadcast nationally across Japan. And that might seem, well, we can tell you that that is the first time that's ever happened. And they had pretty good viewers as well, so that was fantastic.
Certainly, and coming away with that silver medal against the USA.
Some of the very small Mexican contingent, just 2 athletes, but they will have a few coaches and officials as well.
Okay.
Well, Amy, I feel like a bit of an imposter sitting here because the man who's been alongside you in the commentary booth almost all week throughout these games is Chris Dorr, but fortunately I'm pleased to welcome him on the phone now. Chris, just give us a sense when the games are over, and particularly for those people who have won medals as you yourself have done, what's it like to be at this closing ceremony?
It's a tremendous, tremendous opportunity for those that have won or not won, just to be able to reflect and relax. It's been a tremendous journey over 4 years. Finally, you get to go and let it all out.
Chris, it's Amy here. Great to speak to you again. We've spent so much time in the commentary booth together this week. But look, how do athletes sort of get over these games? I mean, it's all a big party tonight, but then, as with lots of big events, they can be a bit of a downer. I mean, what's sort of the process or the emotional process that athletes go through after the games?
Well, for those that didn't quite have the performance that they want, they'll probably talk to their sports psychologists and things like that, and just refocus, redevelop their energies. Some will just determine that they're at their peak, or it was a great experience, and they'll retire. For those that did gain a medal, they basically have to make a determination, kind of like I did. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do now? And I mean, those questions will all be answered in the weeks to come, but I think right now, I think they're just going to celebrate. Have maybe 1 or 2 drinks, have a cocktail, enjoy the party, enjoy the show, and party on, as they would say.
Chris, how much interaction is there among the athletes, and particularly between the nations? We see a lot of the athletes on screen, and they're holding team colours from other nations.
Well, by the end of the night, I guarantee you there's a considerable amount of jacket swapping and shirt swapping, and you won't really know which member of what team belongs to who, because they'll all be dressing each other's clothes by the end of the night.
Excellent. And I guess this, in a sense, was a bit different because the athletes were separated somewhat, having, some up in Whistler and others down in Vancouver. But when you're staying in the athletes' village, do you talk to your rivals, Chris? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you're done playing, it's when you step out onto the ice, or in our case, when we were in Turin, it was the hockey and the curling guys in one place, and it's no different than here. You talk to everybody, you interact, you hit the rec room, you have a great time, but when you get onto the playing field, it's all business. So everybody's friends, you have a great time, but when it's time to compete, it's time to compete. And now, nobody's competing. Like I said, party on.
Well, Chris, we're going to let you sit back and enjoy the party as well. Thanks so much for all your hard work with Paralympic Sport TV, and have a lovely evening off, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me, and I just want to know, did Amy put her Australian shirt on?
We'll tell you at the end of the show, Chris.
All right. Have a great night. Thanks for having me. All the best.
Thanks,
okay.
Chris.
Bye, Chris. So Chris Dorr, of course, a gold medalist at Torino in 2006. He was the skip of the Canadian wheelchair curling team, and of course Canada successfully defended that title at these games.
Now we can just hear the band finishing for now in the background, and it's a Québécois band known as La Bottine Souriante, or the Smiling Boot in English, playing folk music with a modern twist. And we saw some of the Russian athletes there. Particular incentive for them, Amy, to qualify in 4 years' time when things move to Sochi.
Oh, absolutely. And look, we saw how strongly Russia performed at these games. I mean, obviously Russia has always done very well at the Winter Olympics, but gee, what a performance. So many medals. They sat so far ahead of Germany, who were second on the medal table, although I think in the end Germany had one more gold than Russia. But gee, what a lot of momentum heading into Sochi in 4 years' time. And if we just have a quick look at the tally, so officially 38 medals for Russia, and that is absolutely incredible compared to Germany's 24. But of course Germany had 13 gold medals, whereas Russia only had 12, so that means that Germany sits atop of the table, even though they had 14 fewer medals than Russia. And of course the host nation Canada, 19 medals and 10 gold, so really not a lot of difference between the top three teams there in terms of the number of gold medals.
That's right. Well, certainly plenty for the home fans to cheer about, and 5 of those 10 all coming from one lady, Lauren Wollstonecroft, who we saw carrying the flag just a few minutes ago.
Yes, a fitting farewell from the team with her carrying the flag. What a success story she is. So we've got the pom-poms. Everyone's gradually getting into their place.
And you just feel it might be a while before everyone takes a seat here, but they won't mind that.
I think they're just enjoying it so much that no one's particularly in a hurry. Lap up the moment. A lot of pressure throughout the last 9 days of competition. And then finally a chance to socialise.
Well, Ukrainian athletes then we saw in cross-country and biathlon competitions just neck and neck with the Russians in so many different fields, and that we imagine will be one that will continue in 4 years' time.
You can see the backs of the Austrian athletes there and Chile.
And as Chris Dorr said a few moments ago, Amy, it's going to get harder and harder to identify these athletes as they do swap coats with each other.
Well, I know even just working at these games, often you swap pins, you swap t-shirts and this and that. So if you've got a really trendy uniform and you spy something that you like on someone else, there's no reason not to do a quick swap around.
That's right. I've seen some of the Chinese media members, and they had an extra coat that they were trying to trade with some of the other broadcasters.
Very good. Don't want anything to go to waste, so that's good.
There was a Canadian broadcaster who did swap with the Chinese broadcaster, and I think both sides were very, very pleased indeed.
They both felt that they came out of it well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is our live coverage of the closing ceremony on Paralympic Sport TV. Mark Dreyer and Amy Bainbridge, your commentators this evening, and throughout the evening we will be joined by various athletes and people, former Paralympians, current Paralympians. Here come the RCMP marching through.
One of the iconic Canadian images, known as Mounties, of course, but they're not on horseback this evening.
Certainly not.
And good to see Canadian youngsters with us as well.
They're very cute. So the RCMP marching in.
So live shots of Labotti and Souriant, as we mentioned earlier. And the Prime Minister continuing to party. And we have our four host nations, representatives from them in the second row on the right hand side there.
And there we have the Russian contingent.
Just a whole mix of colour. Hard for us to keep up with all the different athletes and countries, and well, it's fantastic to be a part of this closing ceremony.
Jeux Paralympiques d'hiver de Vancouver 2010. The athletes of the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games.
Well, things should be getting underway here as the band is cleared off the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, représentant la nation lilloise, une des 4 nations hôtes des Jeux Paralympiques d'hiver de Vancouver 2010, representing the Lillois Nation, one of the 4 host First Nations of the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games, please welcome 3-time world champion hoop dancer, Alex Wells.
Well, Alex was born in Squamish in British Columbia, and the Squamish First Nation, one of the 4 host First Nations, alongside Musqueam, Lil'wat and Siel-Watuth.
And this dance, well, tells magical stories of the creation of life, of course combining drum and dance with their rich and colourful culture, as you can see there on our screens now.
That's right, Alex refers to himself as the Lord of the Rings, and you can see why. I'm pretty sure I'd have fallen over by now.
So Alex Wells, born in Squamish, BC, and this is the Lilwat Nation traditional welcome, called a Salish welcome.
Alex recently founded the Native Bear Spirit dance group with his brother Chris, and is a teacher of traditional values, as well as a 3-time world champion hoop dancer.
This is described as one of the most challenging traditional First Nations dances.
And there are representatives from the 4 host First Nations. Well, coming up in just a moment, we'll have the national anthem of Canada. But good to see a mix of different cultures, and we've seen that throughout this Paralympic Games.
Absolutely. And tonight we're likely to see a combination of Canadian and Russian cultures, as of course the Games are officially handed over from Canada to Russia. So, Alex Wells and the traditional welcome, a hoop dance.
Well, Amy, glorious pictures of Whistler and the surrounding areas.
Mesdames et messieurs, célébrons notre esprit canadien, comme nous le montrent les membres de la Disabled Skiers Association de la Colombie-Britannique, qui descendent la montagne Whistler. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of our community celebration, we show our Canadian spirit as the Disabled Skiers Association of BC lead a torchlight ski down Whistler Mountain.
So Amy, 125 skiers of all ages and abilities. There'll be children and adults on sit skis, snowboards and skis, and they come from all over this region.
So, is coordinated by the Disabled Skiers Association of BC, 125 skiers in total.
And this is the Sea to Sky Chorus. Participants ranging in age from 6 to 55. There'll be 185 members of the choir that you will hear shortly.
So the torch skiers making their way down. Of course, all the athletes able to watch this on big screens from where they're sitting.
Veuillez accueillir notre chorale Sea to Sky sous la direction d'Alison Hunter ainsi qu'Allie Milner, native de Whistler, pour l'interprétation de notre hymne national. Please welcome, under the direction of Alison Hunter, our Sea to Sky choir, and Whistler's own Allie Milner for the singing of our national anthem, O Canada.
True
And what a beautiful rendition.
That's right. Well, our commentary position may be fairly cramped, but we're still able to stand up inside here, as I'm sure all of you were at home, particularly our Canadian viewers.
Well, that was beautiful. Ali Milner, of course, a household name in her native Whistler. She's just 19 years old.
And you see the flag just being carried off. Well, that is 29 by 15 metres, or 94 by 50 feet if you prefer.
Well, the fireworks are out early. What a picturesque setting. It's just beautiful.
I have an inkling it may not be the last fireworks we see.
I think it might just be warming up. I think that could be it.
Just a few tasters. Well, the skies are clear, finally.
Et maintenant, mesdames et messieurs, le directeur général du comité d'organisation de Vancouver 2010, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Executive Officer of Vancouver 2010, John Furlong.
Sir Philip Craven, Monsieur le Premier Ministre, distinguished Paralympic guests, partenaires et chers amis, athletes of the world, tonight, together with our many partners, et au nom tous les Canadiens, we take our final steps across the finish line of Canada's Games. Notre travail est terminé. Our work is done. We have given this magnificent adventure our complete effort, our full enthusiasm in the name of a country we all love. A month ago, we committed to the performance of a lifetime, and now we leave the field of play here in Whistler exhausted. Our best has been given. Our dear friend Jack Poole would be a very happy man tonight. He will rest well now knowing that the promises we made long ago have been kept and that the grand vision for Canada's Games has been realized. Paralympians, you have dazzled us with your agility, your strength, your endurance, your sportsmanship. Vous avez fait preuve d'un grand courage, de compétence et de détermination. You have given us drama and thrills we will never forget. You reflect the best kind of human character, integrity, and focus. You have shown that pain is no match for your courage. Many of you will go home as champions. You all go home as winners. You have been remarkable ambassadors of the human spirit. No more could be asked of you than the sum of your efforts here. Lauren, Brian, Vivian, you are Canada's newest heroes. Every Canadian child knows who you are, but every Paralympian from every country, you have shown us that for the human heart, there is no worthy adversary. Today is yours. I have never been more proud than I am tonight as my teammates cross the finish line together, holding hands just as they started. To each of you and to every Blue Jacket volunteer, thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for your selfless service to these games and to your grateful country. You came from all over, and you gave, and you gave, and you gave. avec passion et énergie, because the very idea that you could contribute to the building of a better, stronger Canada burns in your heart. Merci. Your contribution here has left an indelible mark on your country, a priceless deposit of goodwill for future generations to draw upon. May the memories of your heroic engagement now become the perpetual music of your life. Once a blue jacket, forever a blue jacket. There is just not enough time to properly thank everyone. So many did so much and with such distinction. The citizens of Vancouver, Whistler, and Richmond topped the honor roll. But full credit as well to partners, sponsors, contractors, men and women in uniform, le Comité International Paralympique et le Comité Paralympique Canadien, federations and fans, broadcasters and storytellers, artistes et musiciens, board and committee members, and of course our elected leaders and those in public office who place their full trust in us. Canada's Games are over. Vous avez réussi. If we have ever had success, it was because all 33 million Canadians for an instant became loyal, trusted teammates. We were, all of us, Team Canada, Équipe Canada, not the few, but the many. We did this together, all of us, living every moment, all the drama, like we ourselves were the athletes. We now know that sports success is in our nation's highest interest, that through sport we are a stronger nation, a better nation. Un pays plus fort. We found something special here in British Columbia, and while the world noticed our patriotic celebration and excitement, we at Vancouver 2010 felt it. It is with humility and more than a little regret that we now say goodbye. Mais comme on dit, ce n'est qu'un au revoir. It has been a true honor for us to serve. Thank you all very much. Merci beaucoup. Garamila Mahagiv Galer Slán agus Benacht. Thank you.
Well, Amy, Vanoc CEO John Furlong has had a bit of stick for his French in some quarters, but he's been an incredibly busy man over the past few years and has done a fantastic job.
2010 Paralympic Winter Games. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir, please welcome Chantal Kreviazek.
So, born in Winnipeg, well-known musical artist.
Just the faces and clouds and the heart that's breaking. You're not exactly where you're supposed to be, but tomorrow don't allow for guarantees. So today's the greatest day. Today's the greatest day. Today's the greatest day. Today's the greatest day. Chasing the ground, all twisted around. It's not tell yourself you're not quite what you seem. But one more chance and you will be redeemed. Today's the greatest day. 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 Today's the greatest day.
35-year-old Canadian singer-songwriter Chantal Crevier with her song Today.
And Amy, the lyric "Today is the greatest day" could have been applied to any one of the last 10 days here at these Paralympic Games.
Le Conseil des athlètes du Comité international
Certainly
paralympique
every day of
est un
competition
lien
has
entre
produced
l'organisation
highlights.
et les athlètes paralympiques. Au cours des Jeux 2010, 3 athlètes furent élus au Conseil. The International Paralympic Committee Athletes Council is a link between the IPC organization and the Paralympic athletes. During the 2010 Games, 3 athletes were elected to the council. The athletes are the voice and the future of the Paralympic movement. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, nous avons le plaisir de vous présenter. We are pleased to introduce Ms. Katarzyna Rogowiec, Poland, Nordic skiing. Mr. Eskil Hagen, Norway, ice sledge hockey. And absent this evening, Mr. Todd Nicholson, Canada, ice sledge hockey.
So, Amy, more entertainment on the way here.
This is Paralympic Sport TV's live coverage of the closing ceremony of the Vancouver Paralympics. Now, looks as though we have the traditional Inuit blanket toss in the middle of the athletes'
And
seating
now,
area.
we celebrate Canada's North. Célébrons le Nord du Canada. Nous invitons les nouveaux membres du Conseil des athlètes du Comité international paralympique. We invite the new members of the IPC Athletes Council to witness a game unique to the Aboriginal people of the Canadian North, the blanket toss. Mesdames et messieurs, pour célébrer le Nord du Canada, veuillez accueillir de Nunavut, and to help us celebrate Canada's North from Nunavut, contemporary Inuit throat singer Tanya Tagak.
So, Amy, in the blanket toss, a community would toss a member high into the air so that he or she could locate a herd of cattle over the horizon.
So Tanya Tagak on screen there. She's won numerous Canadian Aboriginal Music Awards.
An Inuit throat singer singing a traditional Arctic song.
So these blankets traditionally made from seal or walrus skins to withstand this pounding that you see when people land back on it after a toss. this is a traditional Arctic song by Tanya Tagak. It's known for collaborations with Bjork as well.
Now this is Kelly Smith, a former national team athlete and Paralympic Games marathon silver medalist and motivational speaker.
He's competed in 2 Paralympic Games and holds a number of Canadian wheelchair racing and marathon records. He's currently an ambassador for the Rick Hansen Foundation.
So the winner in the blanket toss, the player who bounces the highest. We see Kelly being flung up pretty high there.
Game commonly played at festivals and other Inuit celebrations.
So possibly a forerunner to modern day beatboxing, but Tanya here, an Inuit throat singer, and unlike most throat singers, she sings solo.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, Tanya Tagak and high-flying Canadian Paralympian Kelly Smith.
Looks like he had a fantastic time. In the blanket toss, the Inuit blanket toss game, as they call it.
So next up, Amy, we have the presentation of a special award, the Wang Yu Dai Achievement Award, which will be on stage in just a moment here as we continue coverage of the closing ceremony here on Paralympic Sport TV.
Mark Dreyer and Amy Bainbridge with you. Well, this award, as Mark just mentioned, it's presented to one male and one female athlete.
Comité International Paralympique, please welcome the President of the International Paralympic Committee, Sir Philip Craven.
So Sir Philip Craven will present this Achievement Award.
I now have the privilege of introducing the 2010 Wang Yung Dai Achievement Award, presented to 2 Paralympians that displayed amazing fortitude throughout these games. Let's have a look at it.
Six nominees have been selected and 2 will be awarded. The Wang Yung Dai Achievement Award.
6 athlètes ont été nominés. 2 d'entre eux recevront le trophée Wang Yung Dai.
Dr. Wang dedicated her life to helping others maximize their potential.
Le Dr Wang a dédié sa vie à aider d'autres personnes à optimiser leur potentiel.
She established this award in 1988 at the Seoul Paralympic Games.
Elle a créé ce prix en 1988 aux Jeux paralympiques de Séoul.
It is because of individuals like her that the number of athletes continues to grow every year.
C'est grâce à des personnalités comme le Dr Wang que le nombre d'athlètes continue de croître chaque année.
4 years of training and hard work, dedication, inspiration, and determination.
4 années d'entraînement, d'effort, dévouement, motivation et détermination.
They focus on what they can do rather than what they cannot.
Ils se sont concentrés sur ce qu'ils étaient en mesure d'accomplir et au-delà.
They live the Paralympic Spirit.
Ils font vivre l'esprit paralympique.
The 9th Wang Yun-dai Achievement Award goes to
La 9e édition du trophée Wang Yun-dai est attribuée à
an incredible 9-time Paralympian for sporting excellence and being a tireless champion of active living.
avec un incroyable total de 9 participations aux Jeux paralympiques et championne infatigable. Représentant le Canada, Colette Bourgogne.
And to the team captain of the Japanese ice sledge hockey team for his never-give-up attitude and promotion of Paralympic sports.
Et le capitaine de l'équipe japonaise du hockey sur luge pour son attitude combative et son dévouement à la cause des sports paralympiques. Endo Takayuki.
Mesdames et messieurs, pour présenter le prix d'excellence Wang Yun-dai, ladies and gentlemen, to present the Wang Yun-dai Achievement Award, please welcome, veuillez accueillir, la pionnière des porte-paroles, a forefront advocate for people with disabilities around the world, Dr. Wang Yun-dai, and the 2010 recipients, Takayuki Endo of Japan and Colette Bourgogne of Canada.
Well, Amy, to stand at the top of such an incredible pyramid of athletes, these two, fantastic recognition for them, and in their own ways, wonderful ambassadors for Paralympic sport and the Paralympic spirit.
So there we have on screen Endo Takayuki of Japan, who's won the male category of this award. Yeah, look, simply incredible to stand at the top, as you say, of such a high caliber group of people. And cross-country skier Colette Bourgogne receives her medal there. 9-time Paralympian. She's won 10 medals. And this time she won a silver in the 10 kilometre sit skiing and a bronze in the 5 kilometre event. What a career. What a sporting career.
Absolutely.
So a little wave to her teammates.
Prime Minister Stephen Harper, Premier Gordon Campbell, athletes, volunteers, Paralympic sports fans. What a blast we've had here in Whistler, in Vancouver, in British Columbia, and in this great nation of Canada. I would like to thank the peoples of the host nations, of the Lil'wat, of the Musqueam, of the Skokomish, of the Tsleil-Waututh, who welcomed these Paralympic Winter Games onto their lands. Merci au gouvernement fédéral, au gouvernement provincial de la Colombie-Britannique, ainsi qu'à la ville de Vancouver et la municipalité de Whistler, dirigée par leurs maires respectifs Gregor Robertson et Ken Melamed. À tous les Canadiens, nous nous souviendrons longtemps de votre passion, de votre chaleur et de votre hospitalité. Conservez l'étincelle qui brille dans vos yeux et laissez la flamme glowing in your hearts. Le travail d'équipe a été exemplaire durant ces Jeux d'hiver. Le comité d'organisation, le COVAN, sous la gouverne de l'inspirant John Furlong, a coopéré d'une matière très spéciale et efficace avec le comité international paralympique, ses bénévoles et son personnel. La magnifique autoroute Sea to Sky constitue l'artère vitale entre Vancouver et Whistler. Et les villages des athlètes des deux villes nous ont vraiment donné l'impression d'être chez nous. J'aimerais remercier tous les gestionnaires des sports et des sites d'avoir travaillé en collaboration avec les délégués techniques et leurs équipes de juges, d'arbitres, de classificateurs et de chronométreurs. I want to make special mention to a member of the VANOC team, Patrick Roberge, the mercurial director of the opening and this closing ceremony. There was an infectious sporting atmosphere at each of the venues, with a fusion of spirit between the athletes and the spectators. Spectators who supported all nations, with just a slight emphasis on Go Canada Go. Thanks go to the sponsors, the supporters and media, whose continued encouragement to the movement helps take the Paralympic spirit to the people all over the world. The television broadcasting teams use state-of-the-art HD and slow-mo technology to great effect in transmitting the moving images of these Paralympic Winter Games. Athletes, at the opening ceremony, I said that we awaited your plus brillant exploit. We were not disappointed. You set the 10th Paralympic Winter Games on fire. Many of your performances remain vividly imprinted on my mind. I think back to Adam Hall of New Zealand, crashing, and then springing back up and going down the slope to seize the gold in the slalom. Lauren Wollstonecraft, confirming that she is without doubt Canada's greatest alpine skier of the moment. In cross-country and biathlon at that great venue in the Callahan Valley, Russia's repeated medal-winning performances can only be described as dominant. At the Vancouver Paralympic Centre, a highly knowledgeable crowd were held spellbound as Canada, not Vancouver, sorry, as Canada took gold in the wheelchair curling. And finally, to the UBC Thunderbird Arena, where the USA won the most competitive ice sledge hockey tournament ever. We've seen great feats of daring, of endurance and of skill, but the Paralympic Winter Games are not only about supreme athletic performance. They're about a community, about a far-reaching and extended family. Proud members of this family are the volunteers. The volunteer spirit has been remarkable. The work you have accomplished, always with a smile and a wave of the hand, has been incredible. Volunteers, your contribution to the Paralympic spirit is incalculable. You have helped make these Paralympic Winter Games truly magical. The best ever Winter Paralympic Games. I have only one more story to tell. The Paralympic medals have to be the most beautiful and sensuous that I've ever seen. They were designed by two local artists, Corinne Hunt and Omer Arbel, who were brought together by the immortal Leo Obstbaum. Their design was inspired by the mythological raven on a totem rising. After presenting medals on Wednesday evening, Corinne Hunt was inspired to say that the totem has now risen. Le moment est maintenant venu pour moi de déclarer les 10e Jeux paralympiques d'hiver clos. J'invite les athlètes paralympiques du monde entier à notre prochain rendez-vous, dans 4 ans à Sochi, où votre excellence dans les sports saura inspirer et stimuler le monde entier. Merci Whistler. Thank you Vancouver. Merci Colombie-Britannique. And thank you Canada.
Well, Amy, IPC President Sir Philip Craven declaring the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games closed. In French there.
And declaring them the best Winter Paralympic Games ever.
As we lower the Paralympic flag, please rise for the playing of the Paralympic anthem.
So 8 members of the Canadian Forces to perform the ceremonial duties here.
Well, Amy, always a sad moment, but a very upbeat
Le
song.
maire de Vancouver, le maire de Whistler et le maire de Sochi. Please welcome the mayor of Vancouver, Gregor Robertson, the mayor of Whistler, Ken Melamed, and the mayor of Sochi, Anatoly Pakhamov, for the Paralympic flag handover ceremony.
So, Vancouver Mayor Gregor Robertson,
Les maires de Vancouver
Whistler
et
Mayor
Whistler vont maintenant passer
Ken
le drapeau
Melamed.
paralympique au président du Comité international paralympique.
Following, of course, the IPC anthem. For those of you not familiar, it's Hymne de l'Avenir by Thierry Dany.
The mayors of Vancouver and Whistler will hand the Paralympic flag to the IPC president, who will then entrust it to the mayor of Sochi, the host city of the 2014 Paralympic Winter Games.
So there we have the mayor of Sochi, Anatoly Pakhamov. He's been the mayor since May last year. Before that he was a deputy mayor.
And the understandably delighted Russian
Mesdames et
athletes.
messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour accueillir Domi
What an
Solka
exciting
au
4
Prix
years
National
ahead
de
for the
la
Russian
Russie.
athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome the Russian musical theater Domi Solka for the singing of the national anthem of Russia.
Well, Amy, we heard that anthem 12 times throughout these games and have a sneaky feeling we might hear it more than 12 in 4 years' time.
I think nothing less than sitting on top of the medal table in Sochi will be the order of play for Russia. Germany, of course, coming in with the most gold medals here in Vancouver at the Paralympic Games this year. What an exciting time to be a Russian winter sports athlete.
And that's right, it really is a 4-year games. There's the build-up and it just builds and builds and builds. And you see .ru in the logo there, signifying that it really is all about the whole country and not just the city.
So now we have a sand artist who is going to create a series of drawings to reveal the imaginings of a young girl with a disability.
This is Arthur Kirillov, one of the world's leading masters of sand animation. And if you don't know what sand animation is, well, stay tuned and you will find out.
So the narrative of this is this young girl with a disability realising her dream of becoming a Paralympic champion.
Tchaikovsky not writing the drum beats into his original, but the music is from the Nutcracker, Hada de Entrada. And the girl giving an injured bird wings, and the bird will carry her through space and time to the desired future, victory at Sochi in 4 years' time.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, championne paralympienne en natation, Paralympic swimming champion, Olesa Vladikina, et médaillée d'or olympique and Olympic gold medalist, Ilya Kulik.
So the stage transformed temporarily into an ice rink. The Russians with a very, very strong ice skating tradition.
And she's a Russian championship swimming medalist and learned to skate specifically for this ceremony.
Well, a pretty impressive performance, Amy, from someone who is a Paralympic champion. She won gold in the 100-metre breaststroke in Beijing 2 years ago. She's also the world record holder in the women's 200-metre individual medley. So
here we have the appearance of Domasolka's 6 children, who together with 2 adult dancers will hold balls up with iconic images of Russia. As the sand drawing continues. So all 4 performers on stage here are members of the Wheelchair Dance Sport Federation.
we have European champions Sergei Antonov and Alexandra Berdnik, as well as European and world champions Konstantin Susanov and Elena Shilyeva. So as our sand artist continues, we see the image of a girl in a wheelchair has been replaced by that of the real girl with the Paralympic flame in her hand, looking at a bird soaring in the sky, and the bird has carried her to her desired future we mentioned, victory at Sochi.
And so now on stage we have Diana Gutskaya. She's a visually impaired Georgian singer who now lives in Moscow. Gutskaya represented Georgia in the 2008 Eurovision Song Contest. He's recorded duets with Ray Charles, among other artists. So this is Maxim Sedakov, who's a Russian wheelchair dancer and winner of the 2009 IDSF World Dance Sport Championship of Latin Dance. So, Diana Gutskaya and the Children's Choir singing the Sochi 2014 anthem.
Say it loud, we deserve the Winter Games 2014, the lyrics there.
And those crafty moves were Maxim Sedakov, the Russian wheelchair dancer. That was amazing. I loved
Absolutely.
it.
And the balls bouncing around have iconic images of Russia.
Alors que nous disons au revoir au jeu, nous nous préparons à éteindre la flamme. And now, as we bid farewell to the games, we prepare to extinguish the flame. Please welcome from Vernon, British Columbia, Andrew Allen.
What is this life I stumbled into? Where's it gonna take me? Where's it gonna take you? If life is a journey, then I know where I'll be. By the ocean, or that valley in the sea. But I don't think anyone's looking for me, especially you. And if someone is looking, then who? And it's amazing how lost inside you feel when you look fine on the outside. You're screaming, someone take the wheel. And it's amazing, yeah, they think you've got it all, but it might just be a pebble that's gonna make you fall. What is this story that tells me I'm fine? It adds color to my pages like a sweet little nursery rhyme. If I had the answers, then I know where I'd be. By the ocean or that valley in the sea. And it's amazing how lost inside you feel when you look fine on the outside. You're screaming, someone take the wheel. And it's amazing anyone's looking for me, especially you. And if someone is looking, then who? And it's amazing how lost inside you feel when you look fine on the outside. You're screaming, someone take the wheel. And it's amazing, yeah, they think you've got it all, but it might just be a pebble that's gonna make you fall. It's gonna make you fall. It's gonna make you fall.
Andrew Allen there from BC's Okanagan region.
Au revoir de Whistler, Colombie-Britannique. Goodbye from Whistler, British Columbia, as we bid farewell to the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games.
Well, we promised you more fireworks. And here they are, being launched from the base of Blackcomb Mountain, one of the twin mountains at the resort, along with Whistler.
And we have dancers here from Soul Function Studio, 25 young dancers from the studio in Whistler, aged 8 to 17. Been rehearsing for this for a few months.
And always a touch of sadness as things close out, but very much beginning the next Paralympic cycle.
Yeah, certainly a new chapter in a lot of ways, and even just on our Facebook page we've got people saying they want to see new events in the Paralympics. It'll be really interesting to see. We've had some discussion of snowboarding, and there's various IOCs that are, well, IPCs that are getting behind it.
That's right, well,
National Paralympic Committees, so it will be interesting to see the makeup of Sochi in 2014.
my advice for those wanting to see snowboarding included, get out there and start campaigning, because the decision hasn't yet been made. And typically these events do need to be accepted on the international circuit first before the IPC will include them in the Paralympics. But always looking to move with the times. We saw the Super Combined in the Alpine division for the first time.
Thank you for joining us from Whistler, British Columbia. That concludes this closing ceremony of the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games.
As the rain starts to fall, good timing really.
Merci de vous être joints de Whistler
And
en
look,
Colombie-Britannique.
what a fantastic games, and congratulations once again to all these athletes. A very proud moment. No doubt, probably a big night ahead for some of them as well.
Absolutely, I would think so. Well, John Furlong mentioning a few of the athletes. Lauren Wollstonecroft of Canada, 5 gold medals for her. Viviane Ferret also with a sack full of medals, and Brian McKeever 3 golds here, putting his Olympic disappointment behind him. And Sir Philip Craven picking out the Canadian curlers, the USA hockey team, and as we said, calling it the best Winter Paralympic Games ever. Well, hard to argue with that.
So look to a few highlights from earlier in the closing ceremony. Look, it has been our very great pleasure bringing you the Vancouver Paralympic Games this year.
We absolutely wish it could go on forever. But unfortunately, all good things come to an end, and here we are.
Saying goodbye yet again. Mark Dreyer and Amy Bainbridge bringing you the commentary for the closing ceremony this evening. very much looking forward to Sochi in 2014.
And of course, the Summer Paralympics in just 2 years' time.
So that's all from us for now. Mark, thanks very much for your company tonight.
It's been my pleasure, Amy, and it's been very much our pleasure to share these Paralympic Games with you.
So that concludes our live coverage, and of course viewers can still watch and relive moments of the 2010 Winter Paralympics on video on demand on Paralympic Sport TV. But from the team here at Paralympic Sport TV, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.